Every religion claims itself to be the only way. So, are we out of the woods? No. Because there's more than one who is saying, I am the only way. So if we have 3 or 4 claimants to be the champion, what are the options? Number 1, all are correct, which is absolutely absurd. Unreasonable, we can't go that way. You cannot have 2 or 3 and 5 prime ministers. That's not possible. So you can't have more than one final champion. All are wrong. That's a possibility. That is not absurd. That is not illogical. But there were 2 things that stopped me from saying that. Number 1, to call anything wrong, I must know what is right. It doesn't work the other way around. You must first know what is right, and then you can call something else wrong. I didn't have anything in my hands to say that this is right. So I had no basis of calling any of them wrong. And I would have to call all of them wrong with this option. Number 2 is, if I really did that, one common claim that all these religions were making was that there was something known as the supernatural. All of them were saying that. And if I really have to wipe them off, I'll have to wipe off the concept of the supernatural along with them, and that was what we had first established yesterday. It was there. I could not run away from it. Because of these 2 reasons, I could not accept that they were all wrong. I had no authority to say that they were wrong. So that left me with only one option. I struggled with this for 6 months, and I'm going to throw it out to you as a suggestion. Look at that, and if you find any other option apart from these 3, by all means come up to me and tell me. I'm still searching on that point. But until somebody shows me, there is only one option left, and that is that there is only one that is legitimately saying that I am the only way. There is only one that is legitimate in that claim, that is making a truthful claim. This is sheer reasoning and logic. Think about it, and if you think there's another way, please, I would still accept if there's an opinion that you have. Until such time, that's it. And that is what we're going to pursue. So when that came to me, it became a crucial, pivotal conclusion that there's one and only one religion that can make a legitimate claim of being the only way. Boy, it was frightening. There's one and only one way. It was really frightening because when you come to that conclusion, you yourself are studying and you are faced with that, your first question really is, am I in that way or am I out? It's frightening. And I remember my children going to my wife and saying, is dad losing his mind during the search? It was a compliment because they were really scared because I was really searching. If I was artificially searching, they wouldn't be scared at all. So, when I came to that point, I had to evaluate what they were saying again. There's one and only one way. So what is the significance of this? The significance are many. I've just jotted down these 6. Number 1, it's a conclusion reached by a neutral person like you and me. Remember yesterday we stepped out of our philosophies. So we were like a person on the street, and we were neutral. We had no axe to grind. And from our neutral point of view, we came to the conclusion that there is just one way. We don't know which one it is. We have not established it at all, and we may never establish in our lifetime. But that still remains that there is only one way. Number 2 is it destroys the concept of pluralism completely. Pluralism will not stand. Number 3, it has a strong application to followers. So if you are out there, if you are a Hindu, you have no business saying that the other religions are equally valid as yours. Because you will have to deny your own writing. If you're a Muslim, you have no business saying pluralism is correct. Because you would have to deny Muhammad and Allah before you say that. If you're a Christian, same thing. You cannot say that you can bring them together in the pluralistic form before first denying and showing that Jesus and his claims are wrong. Number 4, it's a fundamental claim. What's the meaning of fundamental? Foundational. What happens if the foundation is thrown off? The superstructure falls. It's like this. If you are a witness in a murder trial, and you make a very detailed statement about that murder. You were there, as it were. You saw the murder weapon. You saw the clothes. You saw the facial expressions. You saw the blood spattered out. You saw everything, the cries for help. And you make a fantastic detailed explanation and description of that scene. And then the defense counsel gets up and asks you, where were you the night it happened? And he shows you a video clip that you were at that point in time in Amsterdam duty-free shopping while the murder took place here at Byron Bay. What happens to all that detailed description? Gone. Not a single sentence will stand, because being present is fundamental to being a witness. Similarly, if you say you are the only way, it is such a fundamental claim that if you are not the only way, you are no way at all. And I'm saying it not because we want to put down the others. I mustn't say no way at all. I must say you will be the way only if you agree in your tenets along with the champion. If you agree at any point with the champion, you're okay. If you disagree with the champion, then those points are out, because you are not the reference point. It is a fundamental claim to say, I am the only way. Number 5. It's the most powerful motivating claim. And here's the illustration. Suppose you had gone to work in a high-rise building, 40th floor. That's where your office is. And then you just look out the window in the morning, and the 30th floor is on fire. And the fire, of course, comes up. And so it's coming up. You think of the stairs. You think of the elevator. No way out. It's coming out to 35th, 36th floor now. And you realize, hopeless case. You want to jump out, but 40th floor. If you jump out, it's sure death. And so as the heat comes up, you realize that this is going to be the end. You crouch down in the lowest part of your office, probably get a towel from somewhere and, give it some moisture from the tap and put it over your nose, hoping that those acrid fumes will not come into your system. And just when you give up all hope, you call in your mind your spouse, your children, your loved ones, and say goodbye. This is the end. The heat you can just feel. Just when you're thinking that, a fireman bursts into the room, kicks the door open, and he says, anybody here, follow me down this stairs. It is the only way out. What will you do? Let me first decide whether I will follow you. No. It is the most powerful motivating claim from that fireman to say, this stairway is the only way out. And that is what every founder of every religion said. This is the only path out. They didn't want us to go to university and get A's and B's and C's on a test. They wanted us to pull up our bootstraps and go the way they were telling you to go. None of them wanted anything else. Number 6, it'll dictate the type of search we will now do. See if there is just one way, then how far ahead should he be, or she be, or that religion be? How far ahead is the 100 meters Olympic champion ahead by? 0.001 second sometimes, and only he is champion, nobody else. You don't have to be so far ahead. That's one thing. Number two is, if there is just one, then when you look at 4 or 5, the concept of one will dictate to you right away which one it might be. For example, we are looking for the correct colored marble. The correct colored marble. There are 5 green marbles and only 1 red marble. So which one is the correct colored marble? If we say there's only one, red. Because we've already decided there's only one. If we're trying to decide which is the correct way to compete in this event. Everybody is running and this guy is walking. Which is the correct way to compete? If there's only one way to compete, walking. Well, sometimes it's shiny and red, but let's look at another example. There are 4 shiny, beautiful red marbles and a stinky, dirty brown one. Which one is the correct one? The stinky, dirty brown one. Because the concept is there's just one. So what we look for then is any claim that is just going off by itself and not sticking with the rest. It might be up in front, maybe way at the back. Doesn't matter. Are you with me? Okay. If any questions, you can write down your questions on the card and raise your hand if you do have one. With this concept, I went to 5 major religions, and I chose these because these religions made the claim very clear, unequivocal, that they were the only way. Hinduism, the founder is not Viswamitra. I've just put it down one of the authors of there. There are many, many authors. There's no one single founder. For example, the literature is the Rig Veda, Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, which is in the Mahabharata. Islam, Muhammad is the founder. The Quran is the literature. Buddhism, Buddha, Buddhist writings. Christianity, Jesus and the Bible. Judaism, Moses and the law and the prophets. And if you look at today, the study of the Torah, which is called Talmud, also is a part of the literature. Before I went to look at them, I realized that some of them were making big claims, impressive claims, saying that this is unique to their religion. But when I looked at another religion, they also made similar claims. It no longer was unique. Unique means just one. So I had to put those claims aside because they would not help me find the one way. And there were 12 such factors: a complete message, faith and trust, picture of a Savior God, incarnation, one supreme being, it is revealed and not man-made, it's beyond logic and reason, realization, experience are essential keys, the goal is incredibly fantastic, blessings even in this present life, it is universal, not just for the adherents of that faith, and number 12, presence of miracles. These are found in more than one. So I put all these 12 aside and looked at 10 questions. 3 questions I addressed to the writings. Number 1, what type of writing is it? Is it mythological? Is it legendary? Is it a folk tale? Or is it historical? Number 2, does it throw out a challenge for itself to be tested in any form? Or does it say, it can't be tested, take it, swallow it, or throw it out? Don't try to test it at all. Number 3 is, can anyone describe a top feature of the writing? Those are the 3 questions I addressed to the writings. The 7 questions after that were to the founders. What is the highest claim you make for yourself? What is your message and mission in a nutshell? And the 3rd question to the founders was, to me, a real acid test, a real test. Did your life match your own teachings as a founder? Number 4, what happened around birth time? Number 5, how long was your ministry? How long did you take to make a statement to the world? And number 6, to the founders, what was the circumstances at death? And final question, What happened after you died? So these 10 questions we will ask, all the 5, pull out the responses from their writings or from a source that is friendly to that religion. That is the criteria. I did not go to a critique of the religion to pull out anything. And then I would not be able to state whether they are telling the truth or not. I could not. All I would do is ask the question, pull out the answer, and just lay it side by side and see what happens. When I started this, like any other person, you don't know what the outcome would be at that point. You don't know whether there will be any outcome. Maybe it's all some fuzzy, nebulous conclusion, which you can't even call a conclusion.